So what I thought I'd do, I've done the sort of bit of an intro in terms of who I am, what the business is, what we can do. So what I thought I'd do is I'd try and give a bit of value back to you guys. So obviously one of the things we do is social media training. So what I thought I'd do is just give you a brief sort of introduction to how you can all make sure that your LinkedIn profiles are optimized, how you can get the most out of LinkedIn, and just hopefully some sort of takeaways here for you. All that's the sort of plan. So LinkedIn, obviously, hopefully you've all got LinkedIn profiles. You sort of know what it all is about. But just sort of take a step back and to sort of summarize it. So LinkedIn is the world's largest professional network on the internet. So it obviously stands alongside Facebook, Instagram, TikTok in terms of a social media channel. LinkedIn is the business one. Facebook, Instagram is the more sort of personable B2C sort of element. LinkedIn is your sort of B2B platform. LinkedIn was originally set up as a recruitment social network. So that is why you can find jobs, and that is why the jobs element is so strong on LinkedIn, because that was the whole goal of LinkedIn initially, was a recruitment job search facility. It's obviously evolved since then, and COVID sort of helped with this, whereby LinkedIn became a place where business professionals could share what was going on in COVID, share news about their business, any updates that was going on. And LinkedIn has sort of grown on this element. So now the job side is still there, but the primary sort of goal of LinkedIn is now to connect with other professionals, share stories, share updates, and also learn any skills to do with your profession or any other profession, really. So why LinkedIn? Why should you be active on LinkedIn? So if you're a business and you deal with other businesses, you should be on LinkedIn. That is where business professionals sit. And I sort of liken it to a professional trade show in that you can advertise what you do, how you do it. You can advertise the inside of your business to other businesses. Obviously, Facebook is more sort of a dinner party style of vibe, I like to call it, whereby you can share family stories and family updates and that sort of thing. And Instagram is your digital art gallery. That's where you can really showcase the images and really showcase what you do. But yeah, LinkedIn is all about being professional network. So a lot of people ask me when they come to talk to me about social media, why do I need to be active on LinkedIn? What can LinkedIn do for me, basically? And the five elements there are the sort of the key elements as to how LinkedIn can help you. So primarily, it's a great networking area. You can connect with business professionals. You can send messages to CEOs of companies down to sort of admin assistants. Everyone's on there, and everyone is free to be contacted and communicated with. So it's a great way of reaching those customers that you're trying to reach. You can research companies. So if you know you want a particular company that you want to work with, you can find out about that company on LinkedIn. You can find out who works for them. You can find out what positions people are in. And you can really nail down a search so that you know exactly, right, I want to talk with that company. I want to deal with procurement. So you can search for X company, procurement job titles, and it will give you a list of those people in that company that work in procurement. You can build a brand, obviously, with anything, marketing, social media, everything is about building a brand. On LinkedIn, you've got the opportunity to showcase who you are, showcase what you do, and you can build both your personal brands. So you can talk about exactly your personal elements and how you do it. And obviously, you can also build your business's brand because you can have a personal profile and you can have a company page, and they sort of nicely interlink together. A couple of the two sort of elements that people generally forget is it can be used as an information hub, and to sort of dovetail with that is you can demonstrate credibility. So if you're an expert in your field, you can showcase that expertise to other people who want to know about that information through newsletters, through groups, through general posting. And it just showcases that you know what you're talking about. And then on the flip side, other people can then get that information, they can learn from it. And it's a great way of sharing and learning between other business owners, other business professionals. So it's more than just a network, and it's also a learning hub, which is really nice. So one of the biggest things that I find is a lot of people's profiles aren't set up correctly. And this is one of the biggest elements to become successful on LinkedIn, really. So these are just two profiles. Obviously, mine's on the left, another client on the right. Obviously, this is the main landing page to your profile. It showcases who you are, what you do, the businesses you're involved in, the businesses you work for or your own. And you can clearly see it different there. Hopefully, the one on the left looks a lot more professional, a lot more inviting than the one on the right. Now, the one on the right is what LinkedIn will give you as standard. So it's got no header. The profile picture is a bit naff. It doesn't really showcase what they do. There's no links into websites or companies or anything like that. It just doesn't look as welcoming. So the first thing that I would recommend for everyone is to make sure that your profile looks something like the one on the left. So you've got a nice header, you've got a nice professional profile picture. Your headline showcases what you do, because when people are searching for you, you only see the first 60 characters from memory when people search. So you want to in that first line, you want to say what you do, how you can help. And that's what I've sort of done there. And then there's a link through to my website and obviously further information below. So the next section below will be your about section. And this is probably the second biggest section you should be looking at on your LinkedIn profile. So everything on your LinkedIn profile now is SEO friendly. So people can search for keywords, for companies, for bits across your LinkedIn profile. So with your about section, there's low limit on what you can put in there. So with this section, what I always say is and this is sort of a structure of how you should sort of structure your about section, is always start with a hook. So how you can help, what's the problem you solve, why people should talk to you, what your business does, whatever it might be, just to sort of get them into it. After that, you can really cram it with what your company does, what you personally do, who do you help, what your clients get, why they should choose you and your company, and then ultimately a call to action. And within that section, focus on the keywords that you want people to find you about. The more keywords you can cram in that section, the more chance that people, when they're doing the searches for marketing companies, UW, financial advisor, whatever it might be, if you can get those keywords in the about section, your profile will be pulled up. Because it just LinkedIn shows, right, it's exactly the same with Google. It's the same, works in exactly the same way. The more keywords you've got on your website, the more chance you are of being found on Google when people search for those keywords. It's exactly the same for LinkedIn. So just a couple of little things there. Just make sure your profiles are up to date, looking professional, and try and sort of make sure your about section is filled in. If it's not, try and use this structure and get as much in there as you can, really. So the next section, once your profiles are set up, is what do I post? So connect with your audience concerns, share your successes, help your peers, offer tips, hacks, and how-tos. You need to offer value to your audience. There's no point just spouting on about who you are, what you do, the sort of boring sort of things. You've really got to sort of engage people, and that's with any social media. Try and engage, make it informative, make it interesting to read. Otherwise, people just switch off. LinkedIn will then stop showing it, and it will just gradually just snowball down the list, really. So with any social media, there are algorithms. So TikTok's got a very strong algorithm. Facebook, Instagram have got the same. And LinkedIn is no other. It's got its own algorithm. The LinkedIn algorithm you can actually understand. So the LinkedIn algorithm basically works in terms of how often your post is shown and how often your profile is shown to other people, right? Basically. And it's based off these four key elements. So if your profile is only 10% complete, LinkedIn think you're not really trying at this. I'm not going to show your profile. So the first key is to get your profile complete as much as you can. So headers, images, text about us, work history, all that sort of thing. Next step is how popular your content is. So if you're getting the likes, the shares, the comments, then LinkedIn know, right, you're posting some useful content here. I'm going to keep sharing your content. I'm going to keep showing your profile to people because it is engaging with people. Networking connections, if you've only got 5, 10 connections on your profile, again, LinkedIn are thinking, you're not really doing this. I'm not really going to show. You're not really connecting with people. You're not engaging. So I'm not going to show your profile. So try and connect with as many people that are genuine sort of in your industry or in your customer base as you can, really. And ultimately relevant. If you're posting relevant information and you're commenting relevant things on other people's posts, again, LinkedIn like this because it's continuing that engagement on their platform and they're going to start showing your profile and your post more and more. So that's the sort of how the LinkedIn algorithm works, really. And it's all about sort of having everything in one place to really push your content. So just try and think of these things as you go, as you start using LinkedIn and as you start going forward, really. So just a few things in summary, a few sort of takeaways really from me. Make sure your profile is complete. So go on, check your personal profiles, make sure everything's on there. Try and stay active. So if you're struggling to post yourself, comment, like, share on other people's posts, add value, offer advice, provide value, share knowledge. So again, you can do that on posting yourself, or you can do that on commenting on other people's posts. If you've got something useful or you've got an opinion on something, pop that on there. And ultimately keep engaging with your network. Keep liking, keep engaging, keep commenting, keep liking, whatever it might be, just to keep your name out there. Because everyone gets a notification every time someone does something. So it's just a few sort of 4 tips. I thought I'd just give you a little bit of a brief sort of few tips to take away, something to sort of go for, really. I just want to finish on, this is something completely different. So I just want to finish on something which has hit me this week. It sort of puts things into perspective. So this is sort of wide of this now. So my friend at the weekend got stabbed and died in a local town in Nuneaton, basically. So I just want to share sort of a bit of a quote that I've shared with a few people, really, just to sort of, it brought it home to me this week that things are bigger than business, day-to-day jobs. So yeah, just try and enjoy life, have no regrets, and just sort of a little bit personal, but I thought I'd share that with you guys just to sort of bring it into some sort of reality, really. So yeah, thank you for listening. Hopefully you all got something from that. If anyone got any questions. Yeah, Tina.
What's your opinion? Some people, like you've explained really well, that was great. I love listening. The sort of difference between, for example, LinkedIn and Facebook. What's your opinion on whether to use, if you are doing lives or videos on LinkedIn, it is about showing yourself and who you are and helping people to get to like you, hopefully know you and like you. What's your opinion on it being kind of, it should be quite fun, but also still have that kind of professional kind of approach, or because I know people that will just put the same thing on Facebook and they'll just copy it over to LinkedIn. Would you say keep it a little bit more kind of up?
Yeah, so what I tend to say to people is on the personal profiles is yes, by all means you can talk about personal fun because that's what people engage with. That's what people want to talk to. They don't want just sort of the boring same old sort of stuff. So what I always say is yes, talk about the fun, the social side, but try in some way to link it back to business. Whether it's so like I've done a post about playing squash, for example, and I sort of say, yeah, I play squash 5 times a week, whatever it might be. Helps me with this. But the reason I do this is because it helps me de-stress after a long day of doing X, Y, Z, and it really helps me with sort of motivation and that sort of thing. So I always try and link. I wouldn't just do a general personal post. Always try and link it back to something business, work related, if you can.
Keep your rants about local people walking their dogs in places they shouldn't to like Facebook and things like that. Just the kind of everyday kind of stresses where there's no relevance.
Yeah.
LinkedIn, you would say, is not the best place for that.
No, it is. At the end of the day, it's a business professional networking network. So you've got to remember that when you're posting stuff on there.
Thank you very much. That's really helpful.
No worries. Yep, Stella.
Is there any, and I know you probably said this already, but is there any particular format that's more appealing on LinkedIn? So is it text and a photo, or is it an image and very little text, or how does it work?
Yeah, so to be fair, across all social media platforms, videos generally do the best in terms of people engage them a lot better. Followed by images that are sort of genuine images, so sort of images that you've taken on your phone or images with you in it. because again, people buy from people, so it's that personal element. So if you can get personable style images on there, they then sort of rank second. Generic images are sort of third because everyone sees them and people just generally glance over them. And I would avoid just doing text only posts because, again, with the way how LinkedIn works, if people have got images above and below you, you're just going to get a small section of text which people are just going to glance over. So I say videos are number one, personable style images are second, generic images three, and then text four. That's where.
Thank you.
Yep, Tina or Katie, whoever.
Katie, you go, because I've already been.
Well, Luke, is this something that you could sort of offer? Because I'm terrible at this. So I'm working on my profile at the moment and I'm trying to make it better. I'm really bad at remembering to put posts up, and I know I can schedule them, so I could do that. But is this something that you or your team can offer, like a table of posts with links to images, and then I could spend an hour or so setting it all up? Because I'm
yeah. So that's what we do. We basically take the stress off a lot of clients, whereby we do the designs, we do the text, and we post it, or we send to the client to post on their behalf. So they have, every month we might send them 12 posts, so they've got 12 to crack on with, post 3 times a week. Yeah, however it works really. So yeah, we do that for a lot of clients, to be fair.
I think we're going to have a conversation at some point about that then.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Would you also say it's still the case where LinkedIn general users would be prepared to read a little bit more of a lengthier text if you do like an article or something, whereas on Facebook and Instagram, that's not what people want to see? And so if it's got good content, that's all right on LinkedIn.
Yeah, you'll generally find the longer content will do a lot better on LinkedIn than it will on Facebook and Instagram. So like Facebook is, like I said, Facebook is a very good network, but it's not, people don't concentrate to look at Facebook. Facebook is just a flicking through, looking at pictures and seeing what Mabel down the road's been up to or whatever it might be. It's people just don't concentrate. But for LinkedIn, people are generally trying to get value from it. So yeah, the long style content does better.
You know, not every post a long style content.
No, yeah, it's with anything social media
or something.
Yeah, with anything social media, it's about having a balance and a mix. You can't just bang out sort of 12 sort of days every month because people are just going to think, I'm not reading this is ridiculous. So you just got to have that balance of
draw them in with all of your short stuff, and then every so often
exactly
that they might read.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you very much. Anyone else with any questions?